day of giving. We're going to start off with singing some songs. So let's do Be Bold. Does that sound like a good one? Yeah?
I love it.
All right. Be bold!
Be bold!
Be brave!
Be brave!
For the Lord thy God is with thee. Be bold!
Be bold!
Be brave!
Be brave!
For the Lord thy God is with thee. Be not afraid, sha-na-na-na-na. Be not dismayed, sha-na-na-na-na. Walk in faith and victory. Come on, walk in faith and victory. For the Lord thy God is with thee. Be bold!
Be bold!
Be brave!
Be brave!
For the Lord thy God is with thee. Be bold!
Be bold!
Be brave!
Be brave!
For the Lord thy God is with thee. Be not afraid, sha-na-na-na-na. Be not dismayed, sha-na-na-na-na. Walk in faith and victory.
Come on!
Walk in faith and victory. For the Lord thy God is with thee.
Love that
Yeah,
song.
all right,
Woo!
awesome. Hey, so I know we at Lutheridge, we love singing Be Bold. Jen, tell me a song at Luther Rock that was a big hit when you all were together back in summer of 2019.
We sang Living Water a lot that
Oh,
summer.
yeah.
That's a good
Part
one.
of our
Yeah.
theme, I think, so we sang
Yeah.
it a lot.
Yeah, it was part of our theme last year. So let's do that. Let's do Living Water.
Okay, get to the L page.
That's right, that's where it is. So we're going to sing Living Water. If you all know this song at home, sing out loud with us. Even those of you all who are watching this on Facebook while you're at your cubicle or your desk or your Zoom class right now, sing along with us really loud. You won't look weird at all. You fill my soul with your living water, and I am your child. You fill my soul with your living water, and I am your child. How lovely is your dwelling place, O Lord God Almighty. My soul yearns, it even faints for the courts of the Lord. You fill my soul with your living water, and I am your child. You fill my soul with your living water, and I am your child. Oh Lord, God who saves me day and night, I cry out before you. May my prayers come before you. Turn your ear to my cry. Fill my soul with your living water, and I am your child. You fill my soul with your living water, and I am your child. All right, that
Great
was awesome.
suggestion,
That was
Jen.
awesome. Hey, thanks for singing with us, y'all. That was fun.
Hey, Chandler.
Hey. Oh,
I
you
like
gotta go
this
over
side, then your guitar doesn't whack me. So, I have some exciting news to start this hour.
What's that?
Well, first, actually, let's say, okay, hey guys, it's back to Camp Day of Giving.
It is back to Camp Day of Giving,
In
and
case
I'm Chandler.
And I'm Mitzi, in case you just tuned in. You missed some songs, but that's okay. We're going to be singing some more the rest of the day, the top of every hour. And back to Camp Day of Giving is about, friends, it's about getting us back to camp.
Yeah.
Because we miss camp, we miss you guys, we miss singing, and we miss skits, and we miss campfires, and we miss forming faith and developing leaders at our amazing sites all over the Southeast. And so, throughout the day, we are going to be working towards 300 gifts, 150 monthly gifts, and 150 above and beyond gifts. And so, I have an update.
Oh, I
have an
love
update.
updates.
It's only been an hour. It's only been an hour, and we already have 28 gifts. I'm so excited. So, and even better, 3 of our local friends stopped by and gave us checks
Yeah.
already. So, which is really cool.
That's really cool. Now, please know, you don't have to drive by here to drop off your gift.
But if you do, we really like
Yeah,
to
that
see
would be
you.
nice.
Just kidding.
But we have access to this thing called the internet.
Oh.
And wherever you are in the world, you can give us a gift
Yes.
through the internet.
Yes.
And
You-
how can they do that on the internet?
It's super easy. Novusway.org, or if you have a favorite campsite and you want to go to their website, it works there too.
Like
But-
Luther Springs?
Like Luther Springs. There is a little green donate button in the top right corner, and if you click on that, it will walk you through the process, and you can make a recurring gift, like a monthly gift, subscription gift, whatever you want to call it, there, or your one-time above and beyond gift can be made there as well. And throughout the day, we have awesome folks in the back, volunteers who have been volunteering with us for over 5 generations. Don Poole is 5 generations of camp. I mean, how cool is that? And he volunteers to help us, and then also Tabitha is going to be helping us in the back all day, keeping track of all of the gifts that come in so that we can keep reporting back to you. Because remember, friends, those first 300 gifts, those get an extra $200 on top of what you give. No matter what you give, it's an extra $200.
So Mitzi, if I give $10, that means that I'm giving...
$210 to camp. Yeah, it's pretty cool.
If I give $76.50, that means I'm giving...
$276.50. And it is really not fair of you to make me do math this early in the morning. Okay, so back to Camp Day of Giving. We're going to be singing songs, and after this hour, the day is going to be filled with stories. And like, y'all, the stories are so good. I mean, you know your stories. You have your stories. You know what camp means to you. And I hope that today is creating a space in your heart to remember those and to think about those and to share those. Post them on social media. Tell your friends what camp means to you. What about camp made you different? What did you learn? What skills did you take away? I'm totally gonna out him right now, but Matt Fink, woohoo, Matt Fink is here helping us be live all day, served on staff with Matt Fink, and he's running all this like digital hoo-la-la that I have no idea how to do, but I just listened to him teach a class to students, and he used the same supportive, caring, nurturing language that I know he learned from being on, he's shaking his head, that he learned from being on summer camp staff. And so Chandler, talk to our friends at home about how they can help us identify those people who can serve on staff this summer and their lives can be changed.
Yeah, at all of our sites, we continue to look for staff for this summer, and not just counselor staff, but leadership staff too. We still need those people who are going to be the folks that really help to make sure we stay safe, we stay healthy, and we have a fun time this summer. So if you are someone out there, if you're a young adult out there looking to create the best summer you've ever had and create one of the tightest communities you've ever lived in, go to novusway.org and look for our summer staff application page or any of our sites pages and apply today for a job. If you are an older young adult, let's say, I don't want to call anyone old, if you want to call, then we really need you to identify people for whom a summer at camp would make a real difference in their lives. And don't just drop hints. Don't just kind of make sideways comments. Go to them and say, I think a summer at camp would be an incredible thing for you, and I think you have the skills and gifts to make a difference in children's lives. And set them up with an application. Get them on the path. Tell them you'll write them a recommendation, and get them moving in that way. And if there are people who have never worked with kids before, hey, guess what? No need to worry. We do great orientation here. Those area directors, those program directors that you saw just a little while ago up here singing, they are working really hard right now on staff orientation, how we get people ready to care for kids in the very way that Jesus calls us to care for them. So I'm calling out to all of you all young at heart adults who know young adults that need a summer of a camp staff experience, or that you think camp needs them. Send them to our webpage and then tell them directly, I think you need to do this. You have the gifts, you have the skills.
And Chandler, I think it's important for folks to know why that matters so much. And we're going to hear stories all day, but I want to share just two things really quickly from my own experience. So first off, I say it all the time, and I hear people that who have been at camp say it all the time. My best friends in my life, some of them are in this room right now, are people that I met serving on staff. They're the people I can call. They're the people who help and who listen and who understand and who accept and encourage me no matter what's going on in my life. And I couldn't do life without them. And I met them being on staff at camp. I was never a camper. And that didn't matter. When I got here on the first day, I had never set foot at camp. And they welcomed me with an unconditional welcome, just like I had been here forever. And friends, that's what camp is about. God's unconditional welcome. So that's the first thing. The second thing is all this stuff that I learned during orientation with my counselor in my cabin with me, teaching me how to be with campers, was how to make deposits into the life of a child and each other. And that is something I have carried with me into leadership roles in the world and in the church since camp. And we hear that from others all the time, that the skills they learned at camp, just like our example, Matt, back there teaching his class, it's stuff you carry with you. So it's not really even just about the summer. It is about changing the rest of your life in a direction that is centered on God's community and God's grace and unconditional welcome and belonging.
One of our core objectives here in the program across all of our Novus Way camps is leadership. And we look to instill that in the counselors who are with us. And that's not just for being a pastor or working in the church in some way. That's for people who are in science and technology fields, I know people who are in law enforcement who take the leadership that they've learned here to apply it to the world. I know people who their vocation of being a parent is better because they've been on staff here.
Oh, I know I'm a better parent because I was on staff here. Like, hands down, no exception. So Chandler, I want to ask you another question too, because your department works in this area, and I know you've been spending so much time on this. So if you're listening to this and you're thinking, oh God, that just sounds so good. After a year of isolation, how fabulous would it be to be in that kind of community? But you're still a little nervous about COVID and what that means. We learned a word recently that I love, Swiss cheese. Now, I'm not a fan of the actual Swiss cheese.
I love Swiss cheese.
I'm more of a provolone girl myself. But I do think this, as a parent who also sends her kids to camp, this really hit home for me. And I would love for you to share that with our folks at home.
Yeah, and please remember, you can go to novusway.org/summer2021 to find all of our details about how we are working to keep this community and all of our communities around the Southeast safe and healthy this summer while campers gather. And the Swiss cheese model that Mitzi is talking about talks about how we have lots of different approaches that we're taking this summer. Masking, distancing, how we are gathering smaller groups together while they're on site. We're calling it cohorting. Also our education that we are doing. Also the pre-screening we'll be asking for folks before they come here that we'll communicate to you far in advance of when you arrive at camp. All of those, if we line them up like pieces of Swiss cheese between the virus and your camper, well, there might be a couple of holes in them. You know, the strategy we have at masking is not a 100% thing. So the virus might make it through one of the holes in that piece of Swiss cheese, but then it'll hit that next thing that we're doing, say how we gather together, and it'll block it at that place. And then maybe it makes through another hole. Well, we've got what we're doing to ask people in advance, to staff to get tested or things like that, and that'll stop. We've got lots of pieces along the way that we know will provide us a really healthy and safe environment and provide a good barrier between our community and any sort of outbreak that we could still have during the summer. We feel really confident in it, and we're really excited to welcome you all to camp. Again, novusway.org/summer2021, and you can find out more about those, and we're continually updating that.
Yeah, and so camp is gonna look a little different, but the world looks really different. And so by now, my kids are saying, you know, I'm used to that. I'm used to wearing my mask. I'm used to, Chandler and I are together all the time. So it's a little different for us out here right now. But we're still being cautious. And so because everything looks different in the world, kids are they're gonna expect that little bit of difference at camp. And so it won't take away from the camp experience. It'll still be camp because it'll still be God's community. And that's what makes it powerful. That's what makes it camp. So thank you for being with us this hour. We will be back at 10 o'clock with songs and the start of those really awesome stories that we cannot wait to share with you, because you're giving today, you're giving this whole year through the Light the Fire appeal, you make these stories possible.
And Mitzi, how do they do that giving again?
Oh, right. novusway.org, green donate button in the top right corner, friends. We'll see you back at 10 o'clock. Thanks a lot.